This is Shaun Sport in podcast form.
Hey, you can watch every game of every round with no ad breaks during play live and on demand on Fox Footy, available on KO Sports and Foxtel. And, of course, you'll see the smiling assassin himself, the wonderful Brad Johnson. Jono, how are you?
Shaun, Nathan, Nat, how are you guys?
Great, mate. I was just looking at a photo of you, and I don't know if I've ever told you, you've got rugby league neck. Like you've got the thick neck of a rugby league player. I have a thin lady neck, and I always admire that.
He's got the neck of an elderly badminton player.
Basically. Great description.
Basically.
So accurate.
Yeah.
I have never been described in that way ever in my life.
I think it's great. I mean, because we learned, the Australian that played the Super Bowl, he couldn't play NRL because he was
Jordan
too big.
Mailata.
Yeah. But I was wondering, did they ever say, "Hey, mate, your neck's a bit too thick"?
I think you're giving him a complex. No.
A thick neck's a good thing.
Well, it was a good thing because I'm so small, right? I needed to have sort of that thicker neck and upper back so that I could, restrict all the opposition players back in the head.
Yeah.
They try to do
It
that.
would have been coming for you.
On that, Jono, you played out of the cage a lot, mate. You kicked so many
Yes.
goals, it wasn't funny. You're an amazing player. Who was one of those blokes who was playing on you that always tried to hit you and bang you in the head?
I think Scotty Thompson, who played at North Melbourne,
Yep.
he, I think one game I would have had 150 forearms in my back, I reckon.
But not one is in neck, Shaun. They wouldn't take one in his neck.
The problem with you, Jono, is they'd always be trying to wipe the smile off your face because you were always smiling.
Well, he whacked me 150 times, but I kicked 6 on him. So
Worth it.
Hey, Jono, we're looking forward to a massive season, of course. We're only days away, well, less than 2 weeks, in fact, for the season getting underway. What do you make of the O round?
I like it. I really do, Shaun. I think the only thing with it for me is the buys that these teams get early in the season. I know that it's considered a buy for the other teams aren't playing in the lead up to this, but it's not.
It's not really.
They get the one early on, and it's more the advantage potentially in the second buy that they receive where they're playing a team that might have had one yet. So that's where it becomes a little bit awkward in the season. It did last year, and there was a lot of questions around it. But in terms of the concept and getting the season underway with these 4 games, I think it's great, and it sets things up for what then leads into a big round one.
I mean, you're right, but the thing is, if your team's not one of those 4 teams involved, it's just a fizzer. It's the start of the season. It doesn't feel like the season's starting with a bang. It feels like it's directed only at those 4 teams, and
In the
everybody
New South
else.
Wales markets,
and everybody
Queensland.
else is kind of just sitting around twiddling their thumbs, waiting for Christmas. It's like they get early Christmas, and everybody else has to wait.
Yeah, they do. It's a response to the NRL and what they're doing.
No,
in
I
their
know
space
why,
as well,
but
and all
We
of
start
that.
our show with a fizz at the
look,
side either.
I get it. I would have had every team. Opening round's fine. Bring the season forward one more week. I think everyone sort of accepts that. So just play everyone and away we go. And you maybe everyone has a second bye throughout the season at some point.
Yeah.
So that's the way I personally would love the way that it's set up, and it'll evolve into the future. It's the second year of it. In years 3 and 4, it could look completely different.
Jono, the Western Bulldogs look like they've got a few injuries heading into this season. I want to get your thoughts on that, of course, because that's your team, but also where you see the WA teams finishing this year.
It really is interesting, Shaun. We were having this discussion the other day about whether the players, which they're going to hate, whether they actually are doing enough of a pre-season, because a lot are going down with soft Christmas and they're missing the start of the year, and the Bulldogs have got a couple of those in particular with Liam Jones and Adam Treloar, and now Cody Waitman going down as well. And I did see a photo today, actually, of Jamara joining back in with some training. We wait to see what happens with that, but obviously he can play, so we'll see how long that takes for him to become a player in the Dogs' colours again this year. But so that's the thing for the Bulldogs, and I think like many teams, it comes down to what stars you lose to injury, if any. Carlton are going through it a little bit at the moment as well, so it hurts early on, and the Bulldogs got a big start to the year with their first 5 or 6 rounds quite difficult. So it may or may not have a bearing. We wait and see, but they'll be in the mix. They'll be in that mix, I think, of 6 to 12 in terms of that space. And if they're good enough, they might be able to jump up a little bit higher than that. But the competition for a final spot this year is going to be probably the tightest we've ever seen. And Freo are in that mix.
Yeah, it's pretty tight last year.
Yeah, one of the teams that will certainly challenge in that space, especially with a couple of the recruits that they've been able to secure. And West Coast, we all know where they're at and what they're in terms of their development and what they need to do with some of their youngsters and continue and develop a game style that will be competitive in the future to see them play finals football. They started well against Richmond on the weekend. There were some great signs. A couple of their more mature recruits played pretty well also, which will help the depth of their lineup. And they'll try and snag a few wins throughout the season. But I think we'll see throughout the whole entire home and away season from West Coast, they'll just get better and better as the year goes on.
Hey, quickly, Brad, the fact that we have not seen Harley Reid in the paper over here for a while has got everyone concerned.
Well, he's in the paper today.
Yeah, but for a stretch.
It was a stretch.
For a long stretch. It was crazy. Shaun thinks that as soon as Harley's contract with them over, he's gone. I feel like
he
Shaun's
was pictured
right.
sitting next to Sam Mitchell at Tommy Barris's wedding as well.
I feel like he's right because I feel like they're going to fritzel him in the basement and keep him down there.
They're going to try.
Do you think he's out of here as soon as possible?
Well, I was standing outside of that wedding and grabbed him on the way out. So Hawthorn had a crack, and then I had a crack.
You put a bag over his head and tucked him in the back of the car.
No, I'm big. You know, I'm loyal, guys, and I'm big on teams. Put the world into this young man, which West Coast will do, and I hope he repays the favour a little bit back the other way.
Hope you're right.
Okay, so let's get you to Shaun. He's out. He's gone.
Oh, I was thinking he was gone.
And you're saying he's going to be in. Yep.
Well, I don't know, but
no. You're putting money on it. Go.
Well, I would like him to stay and be a part of West Coast rise into the future because he's a superstar. He's going to be the biggest name in WA. And I think he can, not only from a football point of view, but from everything else that will come with it, I think it'll be the best move for him as a person.
Oh, could you be his agent, please? Thanks, Tomo.
You're a very smart man. That's why you got a thick neck. You got to get the brain, Shaun.
To hold up the brain. Love your work, Jono. Thanks, mate.
We'll see you soon, mate.
Thanks, guys. Have a good time.
Bye-bye.
Shaun Sport in podcast form.
Hey, I want to get your thoughts on this. Over in Burswood, they've had a council...
So you're my thoughts?
Everyone's.
Then speak to me directly.
Okay. I was looking at Sam. Pressing the buttons. Yeah, Sam, you get involved in here. So the WA state government have said that they will put in $217 million if they get re-elected to have an outdoor racetrack in Burswood. They'll put up 20,000-seat permanent seating.
So where in Burswood are they talking about?
It'll be around the around Crown and around...
So basically you have to time yourself to go to the Canfield, do you?
Run! All around that area, Nat. So you know how you can go up around the back of Crown, around the front. So it would be part of Canning Highway, I'd imagine, that would go down there. Just the front
Great
part.
Eastern Highway.
Can I just say,
Eastern Highway, yes.
Okay, so we've done that on a small scale. When they had the go-karts out there at the stadium.
How
amazing. It was so much fun. It's go-karts on like proper roads and you hit the grates and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So if it's that...
It's not that. They're talking about a purpose-built track. But the noise, for all those people that have bought apartments right next to... in that Burswood precinct, you know where I'm talking.
Well, how great for
them.
them.
Are they going to be rapt about having...
They're up in arms, Natalie, at the moment. So,
right in their front yard wasn't part of the plan when they bought it.
No. So the 8
$1 million
councillors...
apartment.
Yeah, they are. But so the 8 councillors had a vote last night and it was 7-1 against.
It doesn't
But getting back to
surprise
it,
me.
Nathan, you know about this. So in particular, I've been up to Surfers Paradise on a number of occasions and been there for the supercars, as it turns out. It's going off its head.
It is.
That's like one weekend, though. Do you know what I mean? Whereas if you live there, obviously they're going to have more than one event at this thing, otherwise it's not worth building, right?
Really, events-wise, it would be probably no more than 4 a year. Are we thinking big events like that?
Well, they're going to have the supercars race there. That'll be one. I mean, there'll be,
what else?
I don't know, some kind of open wheeler races that'll move from Wanneroo.
Yep.
You know, all the Richies who like to get their Porsches and that out and put a number on it and race around there.
Yeah, they might not be. They might just be like regular club events and things like that.
The night that the kids that usually park outside of Bunnings, or
they'll have a go.
The bolt cutters, they'll have a go. Well, I mean, to be honest, it would be annoying because they're very loud unless we get them to be like Teslas. Like, you know what I mean?
Maybe that's what they do. They agree. You can have EV vehicle races. That's it.
So that could work because it is a unique situation, isn't it? Because it's not like the bloody Raffles when the apartments were built next to the Raffles.
No, that's right.
Oh my God, we're going to buy it. And then that one guy is like, shut up. It's like,
the Raffles was always there. The pub, the beer
and
garden
so was the
was
Swan
always
Brewery
there.
as well.
Yeah.
Anyone that knew was in Northbridge.
And Nathan, they're talking about it in Fremantle with Frio Social, which is a live venue.
On.
There's plans to build a hotel right next door to it. And it's like, well, if you're going to complain about the noise, then don't.
Can I say something?
Because it's already there.
When I was
it's already live
when
music.
I was waiting for my place to be built, and I was living over the road where we did a show from that day. I loved the noise because it was where I was. There was bands that were playing over the road at that little bar, and if you're in the area, you'll have to lean into it.
Yeah, I agree. Too often,
If it's
actually,
there
you get
before
that.
you. If it's existing and then they build the apartments, then you know what you're moving into. But if something like this is built after you've paid $1.5 million for your apartment, you go, well, I don't know about that.
I think as a viewing spectacle, street circuit around that area would be amazing for a one-off.
Yeah,
I'm with
one-off,
you.
yeah.
But $217 million
lot of money.
is a lot to put towards that.
Yeah, I don't think. Have we all? If we asked for the top 10 things we need here in WA, I don't think anyone wrote that down.
No, I wouldn't have thought
And
so.
I think that at the moment with our budget, we should look at the top 10 things people say we need. And then get one of them.
I haven't had one person lobbying for this at all.
Yeah, like I met a person the other day that would love money for food.
Yeah.
So that there would be great there.
And the other thing is that's going around at the moment is from a WA perspective is the chance of having a third AFL team. Because of what's happening down at Hands Oval in Bunbury, they're suggesting, well, this would be a great place in the southwest, a big community building up in Bunbury and all through that southwest area. Maybe this is the place. Maybe we relocate North Melbourne down this way, or we have our own team.
I disagree. I think the third team's great, but I think it needs to come from a small country town like Kalgoorlie or something like that, and then knowing that these AFL players are making so much money and they have to live there.
Yeah, well,
so funny.
Bunbury fulfills that.
I know, but Bunbury's so too close to Perth. I'm saying,
and you're on the beach.
I'm saying like a 6-hour drive.
The Cottesloe of the southwest is down in Bunbury.
The Bunbury Farmers Market would give them a reason to move there. Then they'd be happy about it.
I want it to be dry. I want it to be the red dirt, and then all these people, and then they're all when they buy their mansions and stuff. It's like, nah.
Is there an area of mansions in?
Well, they would build it, obviously.
So my friend from school, Jarell, she had the most amazing house, and it was on the top of Kyle's Hill. It's the highest point in Kalgoorlie where people go and make out and smoke bongs.
So the highest point in Kalgoorlie, what's that? 15 metres high?
Yeah,
what is that?
2 metres high.
So it's just an old slag heap.
So that was the one where, and their house was amazing, and they had this atrium in the middle of it. It was like brown brick, but at the time it was like, oh my God. And then you would invite people over, and then they'd go, oh, can I go in the atrium? And you go, no worries. And then you'd lock them in there for the day. So that was fun. And then on the drive into Kalgoorlie, there is those old sort of like Greek pillar mansions.
Yeah.
That were like sort of built really
Italianate, yeah.
And that's it, I think. That's it. Yeah. They're nice.
There might be an expansive area. If anyone knows of an expansive area right now that's just come across, we'd like to hear from you. But also, on that, Joondalup is the only place I can see this working. It's not for the next 5 to 10 years, I don't think. But after that, Joondalup is probably where it needs to be.
Because Joondalup love being woken up and annoyed by cars.
No, he's about football.
Oh, see?
Come on, follow along.
Shaun Sport is a Nova podcast. For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcast.com.au.